Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. My name is Osandra, but you can call me Wordi Girl, and you're tuned in to the Just Do Stuff podcast. On this episode, we talk about the solar eclipse and other communal events. We'll also go over things I've been working on, including some puzzles and games that you can join too. So, what are we waiting for? It's time to just do stuff. Happy time zone, folks. It's me, Osandra, also known as Wordi Girl. So sorry for the delay in dropping these podcasts. I initially planned to release episodes every single week. Yes, of course, which is the traditional way in the podcast world for most podcasts. But so much stuff has been happening, and I just have not been able to do things the way I wanted. Marcus and Nathan from Aurelia's Whitlock, I interviewed them all the way back in autumn of 2023. And the plan was to have all that stuff backlog loaded up so that once January comes, we can just, start dropping episodes, and I won't have to worry about film a new episode, it's a new week, film a new episode, it's a new week. But unfortunately, that's just not how it happened, and it's okay. It's good. I mean, I can only just keep praying, keep going, keep trying to keep doing stuff, as the slogan of the whole podcast says, just do stuff. So that's what I'm doing. Since a lot of those things were very time sensitive that I posted, I did 3 whole episodes on one day in March, at the beginning of the month. That was, if you did not listen to them already, as I mentioned, Marcus and Nathan from Aurelius Whitlock's Murder Museum were on the very first episode. Then we had Sarah Wilson from EnigMarch, and then we had Amy Winters Voss, who is an author, the author of The Liminal Chronicles. Those are the first 3 episodes of the Just Do Stuff podcast. And the 4th episode was actually posted on my birthday because it was my birthday. So I decided that I don't know about every week for sure, but I'm going to try my absolute best to post at least 4 episodes per month. And that did happen in March, technically. I posted 3 in one day and 1 on my birthday. Now it is April, and I really want to try to do it once every week. But I'm not going to guarantee that that's going to be how it goes, because I don't know what's going to happen. I can only try to do what I can, and I don't know what's really going to happen. But anyways, thank you guys for being patient, for bearing with me, for understanding, because things have just been super hectic. I do want to make awesome content for you guys, and I just want to know, what do you guys like? Do you just like me talking to you guys like this? Or do you guys want it to be more interactive with games, puzzles, stuff like that? Do you want more of a fiction aspect where it's focusing on my fiction works, stuff like that? So yes, I started out with this. I have a whole way that I wanted to do the podcast. I literally have segments that I wanted, songs that I wanted to play on the segment. I have special stuff that I can't even say that I wanted in this podcast. But it's, like I said, it's not working out the way I wanted it, and that's okay. But in the meantime, until I can get the podcast the way I want it, I'm still going to try to publish these episodes for you all because it's time to just do stuff, and that's what I just need to do. But if you guys have any ideas, if you guys have any special fun things you want, or if you want to be a guest on the podcast, I literally had 2 different episodes of the podcast that if you were invited on the podcast before, you will know that there's supposed to be 2 sections. One is just play stuff, and one is just talk about stuff. These were basically supposed to be outlines of episodes that focus on different things. My intention at first was to make each episode half play and half talk. That didn't work. I mean, you could say so. It seems that we've been talking and playing on every episode so far, at least, even though there's just been 4. So that's good. But I haven't even said just play stuff, just talk about stuff, so you guys don't even know what these segments are called. There's supposed to be songs to these segments and everything else. Unfortunately, things just, I don't know, but it's okay. No need to keep talking about that. When the podcast is the way I want it, I will tell you guys, yes, this is what I wanted all along. I am glad you're able to see it in all of its glory. And even if it's the most ridiculous laughing stock in the world, at least it's what I wanted. And that will be great for me. But yeah, in the meantime, you get this, which is also probably a laughing stock. But I don't care. Laughing stock or not, we are going to talk. First of all, yesterday was a very significant day for a lot of people. Some people didn't care, some people didn't know, and some people were not in the path, so they didn't really get to witness it. But in most of North America, in what is being called the path of totality, I believe, certain cities in certain states were able to see the solar eclipse, which I don't believe is supposed to happen again for almost 10 years, about 9 years. But yeah, it's basically, if you don't know what a solar eclipse is, it is when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun exactly in such a straight line that the moon completely covers the view of the sun and Earth cannot see the sun. So that is what happened yesterday. I did not get complete eclipse from my vantage point. It was not a total eclipse, but it was very close to it. Unfortunately, I was not prepared enough, so my cameras that I attempted to capture the situation with, unfortunately, were not capable of capturing it. The exposure was way too much, and the sunlight was so bright that you couldn't even see that the moon was covering the sun in some spots because it wasn't total. Nevertheless, it was quite an event. I appreciated the fact that I was able to see what I could see. Unfortunately, I did not have the glasses or goggles or whatever. And yes, it is advised do not look directly at the sun without glasses or goggles. I did not, I tried not to stare directly at the sun, especially for long periods of time. I was mainly just pointing my camera, and yes, I have the digital camera, therefore I was able to do so without looking at the sun through my camera's eye. No, I was looking at it on the screen. Looking at it through the viewfinder directly on a camera would not be a good idea, and that is not what I did. I have a special digital camera that actually allows the screen to bend, so I could actually point the camera up to the sky and then twist the screen towards me, so I can be looking down at the ground and then I can see the sky because the camera is faced up towards the sky. So that was basically what I was doing for the most part, just sitting down, pointing my camera at the sky, trying different filters, trying to see if I could reduce the exposure as much as I could, trying to capture what I could. I also did try some on my phone. And yeah, I will show you guys the blog post. I will link the blog post in the show notes if you care to check out the pictures that I was able to capture. They are not at all remarkable. In fact, my cameras are so annoying that I guess they picked up so much light they couldn't even let you see that it got dark. It literally did get dark on the street. I was very thankful that there was no cloud cover where I was. The skies were relatively clear, and it was a perfect sunny day. It was so sunny, and the sun was just shining so bright, and it was easy to tell when suddenly it felt like clouds were covering the sun, but they weren't. And it started getting so dim that porch lights started coming on, and a neighbor's dog was started barking up a heck a storm, as I like to say. And yes, people talk about how animals start to behave a little strange sometimes because they know that this is something that doesn't usually happen. And some people are like, yeah, just for like 5 seconds. I mean, but it's something. And even humans, even though it's just for a couple of minutes that this is happening, a lot of humans also do things during this eclipse. And I'm not saying that anything like some kind of strange occurrences or something, even though it's possible. I'm mainly saying just the fact that these kinds of communal events happen in the world, and so many people are aware that this is going to happen when they were told. The news says it, then everybody gets together. People have hosted watch parties to view it. People have decided, even when it was happening, there were no formal watch parties in my neighborhood. I just decided to go outside and just sit there and wait. And next, I saw some neighbors across the street came out of their house, and they had some glasses, and they looked up at the sky. Then we started seeing other people slowly coming out of their houses, and looking up. Then the dog started barking, and everybody was like, okay, we know that it's getting dark, and the clouds are not here, and it's not nighttime. It was literally like 3 o'clock, 3:14 to be exact, in the afternoon, and that was the point in my area where the peak would be its most, even though it was not totally covered. So yeah, it was just nice to see so many people gathering for something like this, which is clearly a once, like, I mean, you could say a once in a lifetime event. Even though things like this happen in the solar system, some other countries can see things like this as well because of our planet and how it rotates and everything like that. It depends on who is facing towards the moon when this kind of thing happens. So I know that there are sites where you can go and see when is the moon going to do that, and where in the earth will I be able to see a total eclipse. I believe that they said the next time that North America will be able to do it might be in Alaska, and it might be in 2033. That's what I heard. Now, don't take my word for it. I will tell you that I will do more research soon, and I suggest you look it up as well, because it's fun. I've always, ever since I was young, loved space and loved science. And I just like things like this, and it's just very interesting to observe these kinds of events and to learn about space and learn about the vast world around us, and to see people and the reactions of the people. I heard my neighbor across the street, basically, he was saying, well, look at that. There is a God. And I do believe it's true. I know that a lot of you probably already know I am a Christian. I do believe in God. I believe that God created the heavens and the earth, and that is something very important to me. I do know that a lot of people might not believe the same, and that's totally fine with me. You can still listen to this podcast if you aren't a believer in that. And I still love you and appreciate you, and I thank you for tuning in. Yeah, it's just something that I feel this connects a lot of people. Things like this, communal events, whether they are good, whether they are bad, events that happen in the world that affects lots of people on a large scale, just kind of bring out the roots of how humans are such communal creatures. Even if we are not directly in contact with each other, people find online communities, they find groups, they find ways to connect to people based on events or based on things that they have in common, or learning something that they don't have in common. There are so many different cultures around the world and different viewpoints that different people have, and I just love and appreciate the fact that we can learn about each other and grow, and it's just an amazing thing to me. I love different languages and different cultures, and even within languages there are so many different dialects. Like we talk about a lot the accents within the English language. There's several different accents, and even as people say American, well, there's several different American accents, to be honest. There's Southern, and then there's Western, and then there's kind of Southwest, and then there's East, there's West Coast, there's Midwest, as I am. And some people think that I don't sound exactly like I'm from the Midwest. But yet, when out of town, sometimes people say, "You're from Michigan, aren't you?" I'm like, "Oh, how did you know?" But yeah, it's just amazing, just all these kinds of things. I just love these different things that make us individuals but yet connected. That's just something that I appreciate a lot. And speaking of communal events, whether they're something that is like worldwide scientific things like the eclipse, or if they are created by humans, such as like big events, sporting events, special concerts and things that a lot of people look forward to, award shows, things like that. Those kinds of things bring people together, whether they go to the event in person, or they watch it on television live, or if they watch it in the future, after the fact, they watch highlights from it online or whatever they do. These events still bring people together. And some events that I've been thinking about lately are creative events that are going on in the creative community, and I've been trying my best to participate in a lot of them. Unfortunately, things have been quite hectic for me as well, but I am still trying to do what I can, because just do stuff. So last month, as you know, it was March, and we talked a lot about EnigMarch, which, if you don't know, then you probably didn't listen to the past 3 episodes of this podcast, because I think I talked about it on every single one. But it is a month-long puzzle-making challenge where there's a new prompt that drops every single day, and you're supposed to make a puzzle based on that prompt word. Whether it's, a word puzzle that comes from the word, or if it's just a vague idea of any kind of prompt. Whatever that word brings to mind, you can make a puzzle from that. And there's so many different kinds of puzzles that can be made. There could be, physical puzzles where you have to put things together, or it can be logic puzzles. It can be riddles. It could be literally anything. So that is one of the things that I love about EnigMarch. Unfortunately, March for me was very hectic. I wanted to try my best to get some EnigMarch puzzles together, but unfortunately, I was not able to. But that's okay. Like I said earlier, if you're not able to participate while the event is happening, you can still participate in retrospect. And that is what I plan to do. Right now, Adventure April is running, and that is being run by World Anvil, which, if you don't know what World Anvil is, I also talk about that a lot everywhere. Basically, World Anvil is an amazing world building platform. They have so many helpful tools for story writers, for gamers, for game creators, all kinds of TTRPG, everybody who wants to just world build, even if you just want to do it for creative purposes, not even, you don't even have to monetize anything or anything. There's so many people, developers, writers, gamers. So many people can find benefits from using World Anvil, and I find it very amazing. And in addition to the maps and the tools and the timelines and the manuscripts and the articles and all that kind of stuff that you can organize your world on World Anvil with, in addition to all that, I appreciate the community of World Anvil because there are so many people in this community who are just creative beings who love to support each other, who love to share their work and everything. So that is one of my favorite parts of World Anvil, just the community that was created. And once again, the communal events are just something that I just love to see. So many people coming together under an event that, or joining because of a cause. That is just something that, for some reason, I am just very happy when I see something like that. I mean, I don't know. Like, whenever I just see, like, at a church and everybody's just worshiping, or just a song and everybody breaks out singing it. Like, at New Year's, everybody's singing Auld Lang Syne, and some people don't even know the lyrics, and they don't even know what it is and what it means, but they hum it. It's just fun to see this. These communal events are just amazing when you think about them. And right now, the communal event that's happening is Adventure April. And it is an awesome event where so many developers, and now they've opened it up to just writers to write short stories, which I appreciate them opening it up so even more people can participate. I've participated a couple of times, and I admit some of the adventures that I've entered still aren't complete, unfortunately, because things have been so hectic, but I hope to finish them soon. Or not, well, I'm not going to say soon. I mean, soon is relative, right? I hope to finish them one day, maybe. But anyways, the fun thing is that Adventure April is all about creating one-shot RPGs that you can run for people and you can share so that other people can run them. And then in May, for Play May, World Anvil hosts a fun event called Play May where people can take the one-shots that other people wrote during the month of April and run them for people, or the people who created the game can run them for other people. So it's just an amazing fun thing. Last year I ran Puzzles on the Road, which was from EnigMarch. I took all the EnigMarch puzzles that I had created, and I was late that year too. I didn't get done with them before March was over, but I took all of those puzzles made from those prompts, along with some VSS prompts, which I mentioned in a previous episode, and I just made an RPG game around that, where you are interns at the Will-O-Wisp organization. So you guys are spies, and you are tasked with a certain mission, and that mission depends on a roll table. But as you are in the car on your way from point A to point B, you are supposed to just try to see if you can solve some puzzles, and if you fail the puzzle, you have to roll a chaos table and something might happen. If you pass the puzzle, then you get a good prize from the good prize table. So I think that was a pretty neat one. I ran that twice actually on World Anvil's channel last Play May, and I'm planning on running a new one this Play May because I do plan on making a new TTRPG. I've actually been planning this for some time, and I literally wanted to make it even before Adventure April, just at least to have the bare bones out there so that I can be able to quickly implement it once April arrives. Unfortunately, that was not able to happen, and it is literally already April 9th, which means this month is literally like 1/3 through because time is crazy and it goes too fast. But yeah, anyways, I still am planning on doing this adventure. It is going to be very interesting, to say the least. And I will give you hints about what it is, hopefully in the game. At the end of the episode, you can figure some things out. But if you are interested in playing the game once it is complete, and maybe even being on a live stream, please do let me know. You can go to wordygirl.com/a-podcast to fill out the podcast interaction form, or DM me anywhere I am online, or send me an email, or whatever you want to do. Just let me know that you want to play in the special game, or you're curious about it and I will tell you more about it. But like I said, at the end of the episode, there should be a fun game that helps you to figure a little bit out about it. Also this month, in addition to Adventure April, which I did mention that they are opening it up to story writers as well, which is amazing because now you don't have to know about TTRPGs or write TTRPGs to participate in Adventure April. You can literally just write a short story about an adventure, and that'll count too. And speaking of short stories, some people are participating this month in what you call Camp NaNoWriMo. If you're not sure about what NaNoWriMo is, it is short for National Novel Writing Month, and they are an organization that runs writing challenges throughout the year. They started just doing November, which is National Novel Writing Month, and the goal was to write 50,000 words in the month of November, but they have since expanded to do writing events all year long. Now, some people feel that the organization is a little bit controversial as of late, and there's a little bit of drama surrounding it, but I personally still want to do spring camps. So people all over the writing community have done lots of fun things in spring anyway, if they are part of NaNoWriMo or not, including Adventure April, which was running alongside NaNoWriMo for years. So whether you're part of NaNoWriMo or not, whether you have your own event or not, or you're part of another event that runs in conjunction with, or alongside, or separately from it doesn't matter. Spring is a creative time and people love communal events. So spring camp is on, and I have been running spring camp prompts in my Discord server. If you would like to join that, feel free to go to discord.gg/wordygirl, and it will take you straight to my Discord server where you can join and have fun. We would love to have you, no matter if you're doing creative stuff or not. It is an awesome server where lots of people join and have fun and chat. It's not the most active place on the internet, but it's a nice little cozy nook, I'd like to say, and it's a very nice community. People have roleplay games, they chat, they get updates from me. My supporters get fun perks. You get to know when I go live on Twitch and stuff like that. And we just chill and hang out and have fun. And we play games sometimes, and there's lots of fun events, including supposedly coming up next. And I say supposedly because I am supposed to be running it, but it already got postponed. It is the Epic Character Challenge. I am planning to run this May. And I talked about this in previous episodes of the podcast. The Epic Character Challenge is where lots of fictional characters are written by you and other cool, amazing authors in the community get to come together, meet each other, and have fun. They also get to go on adventures, and they get to learn more about each other and about themselves. And you, as the author, gets to learn about your own characters more. So many people have expressed how they love the ECCs and how much they learned about their characters. Some characters went from being a side character to a main character from this. Some characters, they figured out things about their world building they didn't know before. They figured out plot points that they'd been stuck on. They figured out how these characters interact with each other and went on all kinds of different what ifs of what would happen if this happened and changed their whole plot and everything. So people love the epic character challenges that I run, and I usually run them around February, March. As I said, March was very hectic for me. I could not do it. I'm trying to see. I really want to aim for May. But we will see what happens. If you are interested in that, if you join my Discord server, you will get notified when that goes live. I will try to also open it up to World Anvil folks this year as well. I mainly started it through a site called theprose.com. I advertised to people there who are writers and told them that they could bring characters. Some did. I also advertised through the NaNoWriMo forums, and I advertised that they could come bring their characters. Some did. I also told the people, well, this was actually, the first one was before I even had a Discord server. Half of the people who joined my Discord server were from that first event, Epic Character Challenge. And some people joined the Discord, some people didn't have access to Discord. So I think that I'm going to probably host it majority on Discord, as I've been doing. But also I have put it on NaNoWriMo forums for those people who weren't in the Discord. I don't know if the NaNoWriMo forums are back open yet because they did close them down to controversies and stuff that I mentioned earlier. But if that is not it, it's fine. I was already planning last year. I was already planning to open things out to the World Anvil community. So what better place to host these things than World Anvil itself? And I actually did make my Wordi Wiki world that is not connected to any of my fictional worlds. It's just about me. So that would be the perfect place to host any ECCs. I already have, articles about past ECCs, and I have articles about Handsome Co-host, who was actually created and born from the ECC because I was running this all by myself and trying to keep track of all these people, and I knew before it even started that I was going to need some help, and I didn't have anybody to actually help, so I reached out to my robot friend, and Handsome Co-host is an epic bot who helps me. He has since gone on to help me all over the Discord, not just with the Epic Character Challenge. He's also helps me in Twitch and a lot of different places. I did. This is probably going to be funny, but I did want to bring him onto the podcast. Unfortunately, he has not gotten his voice box installed yet. But if and when he does, you may just hear him over here. That was one of the secret things that I didn't want to tell you about the podcast. This is literally one of the reasons why the podcast has been delayed. But not just because of that, because so many other things have been happening actually in my life as well. But I said, you know what? The podcast can't always be exactly the way I want it. So I'm going to do it by myself. And if handsome co-host is able to join me, it would be nice. But if he's not at the moment, it's fine. He's behind the scenes. It's okay. He's not very vocal at the moment, but he types a lot. He's still working on a book about a rhinoceros and a hippopotamus walking into a bar, and the Triceratops bartender tells them that they're underage. That is, I don't know where that came from. I guess that was a dad joke or something, because handsome co-host loves dad jokes. And he just took it as an idea. He's been working on it for a couple of nanos. I don't know if he's ever gotten past that one scene. To be honest, I don't even know what the book is called. But that's his project, and I'm not gonna knock it. But anyways, hopefully the epic character challenge happens, and I don't know, handsome ghost might bring his characters in one day. I should make him. I should tell him, come on, buddy, you have to bring that Triceratops over here for the epic character challenge. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that is a lot of communal events. But yeah, I am planning on lots of stuff. I've been, as I told you, I was laid off from a job, but I am trying to see if I can get into the insurance industry. I already have said multiple times I do not want to be that person whose whole personality is, do you want to buy insurance? Like that person that you're running from at the grocery store because you really don't want to buy insurance. I do not want to be that person. So we will see what happens. I'm probably just going to go off of leads that are people who already expressed interest. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I did take my state test and I passed, thankfully. I am still waiting for the actual license to be issued. I did submit for it. But yeah, we're gonna see where this goes because I really do need money. I am so thankful for all of you who have shown support, who have donated. Update as I realize I haven't done a podcast since I had asked everybody about the new Agent Manual zine. I had it on Kickstarter. It was the final day, the final push for the Kickstarter zine. Unfortunately, we did not get funded. We did not. But some very generous backers decided to donate to me through other means. Since I wasn't able to keep the Kickstarter money, I did not make the amount that I had supposedly raised on Kickstarter, which was over $1,000. But I am appreciative to all of the people who donated anything at all to me. That's just so amazing. And those who went and bought the book outside of Kickstarter, thank you. Those of you who support me in ways that are not necessarily monetary, I appreciate you as well. Just listening to the podcast, you're supporting me as well. I appreciate you so very much. But being honest, I do need to survive. I do need money. So this is what I'm trying to do. I've been laid off since January, and hopefully this insurance works out. Hopefully I can get started soon so I can get straightened out. Unfortunately, I've not been in the best situation the past few months, but hopefully this changes soon. All prayers are appreciated. All support is appreciated. And I thank you all for everything that you do to help. Okay, so that has been some talk. It's time for a special little puzzle game. As I previewed earlier, I am working on something for Adventure April, and hopefully it will come out by the end of this week. Hopefully, I'm not going to say it is, but I'm not going to say it's not. We'll just have to see what happens. But if you would like a sneak peek as to what I am working on, here's a fun little puzzle for you. It's very short and it may be a bit confusing, but listen carefully to the words. Treat the stem with steam when you pay to play. Go over the room with the broom before you pose with poise. Each one can teach, so bow and raise a brow. Stir the pot without a pout. Look in your sack for a snack. Don't yell at the cat. The bot will drive the boat. Now, if you are unsure what any of that means, it's totally fine. But if you think you know what that could mean, you have two options. One, you can DM me anywhere or go to wordygirl.com/podcast and enter it into the podcast interaction form. Or you can go to willowwisphq.com and search for it and see if you are correct. I will say that little riddle again if you would like to take note. Once again, listen carefully to the words. Treat the stem with steam when you pay to play. Go over the room with the broom before you pose with poise. Each one can teach, so bow and raise a brow. Stir the pot without a pout. Look in your sack for a snack. Don't yell at the cat. The bot will drive the boat. All right, so once again, you can message me, comment on anything, or go to willowwisphq.com and search it up. I'm going to thank you for tuning into this podcast, and I am going to apologize once again for it being so late. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your support. I love you very much, and I thank you for all the wonderfully good things that you do. Know that I'm always sending prayers, love, and hugs your way, and I pray that you have a blessed and happy time zone. That's all for this episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to find out more about me or the show, head over to thejustdostuffpodcast.com. This is your host, Osandra, also known as Wordi Girl, signing off. God bless, much success, and remember to just do stuff.